Look around you today. Look at your phone, look at the news, look at the people you work with. We are living in a society that is completely addicted to hype. Everyone is desperately running after the next big thing. Millions of hard-working, everyday Americans are taking their paychecks and throwing them into things they do not understand. They are buying fake internet money. They are investing in technology apps that have zero actual customers. They are buying stock in companies that promise to build flying cars or robots, even though those companies are burning millions of dollars every single month. Why do they do this? Because they want to look cool. Because when they sit at a coffee shop or a bar with their friends, they want to sound like a genius. They want to say, I am an early investor in the future of artificial intelligence. But I want you to look closely at the actual lives of these people. Are they truly wealthy? No. Most of them are stressed, they are losing sleep, they are constantly checking their phones, and their bank accounts are bleeding. They are gambling, but they are trying to call it investing. If you want to build real generational money, the kind of money that lasts your entire life, you have to wake up and realize that the stock market is not a casino for your entertainment. It is a place where you buy ownership in real businesses that make real cash. And if you want to know how to actually win this game, you need to study a man named Peter Lynch. Peter Lynch is a legend. He is one of the greatest investors in American history. For 13 years, he managed money for regular people, and he made them a 29% profit every single year. That is a massive, life-changing amount of wealth. But the most important part of the story is how he did it. He did not do it by buying the most complicated high-tech companies in Silicon Valley. He completely ignored the guys in the expensive suits on Wall Street. Instead, Peter Lynch followed one very simple golden rule: boring equals wealth. Think about how a normal person thinks when they want to start a business. They want to build a flashy app. They want a massive glass office. They want glamour. But Peter Lynch said that the absolute best businesses in the world are the ones that make people fall asleep. He loved companies that collected the garbage. He loved companies that killed bugs in people's houses. He loved basic motels, companies that made ketchup, and businesses that manage funeral homes. Why? Because when a business is extremely boring, nobody else wants to do it. The smart kids graduating from top colleges with business management degrees do not want to start a garbage collection company. They do not want to manage a local chain of basic hair salons. They want to go to California and build robots. And because nobody is paying attention to these boring, dirty jobs, there is almost no competition. These boring companies just quietly take over their local towns. They do not make the evening news. They just print cash every single day without any drama. Peter Lynch always said, invest in a business that any idiot can run, because one day an idiot will probably run it. You want a business model that is so incredibly simple it survives no matter who the boss is? I want you to look at your own life right now. Let's talk about real businesses in the real economy. Imagine a local salon down the street. It is not a massive tech hub. It is just a simple room with chairs, mirrors, and scissors. It is not glamorous. But guess what? Every single day, people walk through that door, they sit down, they get a haircut, and they hand over cash. The internet is never going to replace a real haircut. A computer program cannot do it. That simple, boring salon is a cash-generating machine. Or think about the cars on the road. Everyone wants the flashy million-dollar hypercar that breaks down every 100 miles and costs a fortune to fix. But the real value? The real reliability? It is in the classic, well-built machines. Think about an old, solid BMW E30 or a classic Volkswagen Golf. They are machines built for a purpose. They are not built just to look pretty. They are built to run forever. You put the key in and the engine turns on. It does exactly what it is supposed to do day after day without asking for attention. That is exactly what a great business looks like. It is a reliable engine that just keeps running. Meanwhile, maybe you are a college student. You are sitting in a boring university classroom studying accounting or economics, trying to prepare for your exams. You look to your left and you see your classmates playing on their phones, trying to trade complex tech stocks, trying to get rich by Friday. They are losing their tuition money, but the intelligent guy, the guy who understands the Peter Lynch method, he is looking at his own daily life. He is taking his boring daily cash and he is buying safe, boring, dividend-paying stocks. He is quietly building an empire while everyone else is playing a game. This is what Peter Lynch means when he says, invest in what you know. You do not need a fancy Wall Street degree to see that people will always need haircuts. People will always need to buy basic food. People will always need their trash picked up. You already have the best data in the world. And it is completely free. It is in your grocery cart. It is in the products your friends are buying. If you see a new coffee shop opening near your campus, and the line is out the door every single morning, that is a signal. You are seeing the reality of the economy long before the guys in New York read about it in a report. Do you know why the highly educated guys on Wall Street miss these massive opportunities? Because they never leave their glass towers. They are staring at computer screens and complex math formulas all day long. But the economy is not a math formula. The economy is people. The economy is human behavior. If a new energy drink hits the market, and you notice that every single student in your business management class is drinking it to stay awake for exams, that is a billion-dollar signal. Wall Street will not see that trend until 6 months later when the quarterly earnings report comes out. By then, it is too late. You already bought the stock at a cheap price. You beat the billionaires just by looking around your own classroom. Peter Lynch actually created a famous word for this strategy. He called it a Tenbagger. A Tenbagger is a boring investment that slowly grows and eventually makes you 10 times your original money. A 1,000% return. Most people think you need to find a secret, highly illegal cryptocurrency to get those kinds of numbers. That is a complete lie. Peter Lynch found his 10 baggers in companies that sold donuts, companies that sold underwear, and companies that sold cheap car insurance. He bought them when they were small, boring, and completely ignored by the media. And then he just waited. But let me tell you the absolute hardest part about this strategy. Finding a boring money-making business is actually the easy part. The hardest part is having the discipline to hold it. We live in a society with zero attention span. People get bored so quickly. They buy a great stock, it makes a little bit of money, and then they sell it because they want to go do something more exciting. They want action. They want to feel like they are making big moves. But Peter Lynch teaches us that the real money is made in the waiting. Think about physical fitness. Think about building a strong, elite, powerful body. You do not build massive muscle mass and a fit physique by walking into the gym and trying a brand new, crazy, flashy exercise every single day. You do not look for a magic pill. How do the biggest, strongest guys in the gym actually get results? They do the most boring, basic movements. They lift the heavy iron. They eat the exact same basic, clean meals. And they do it every single day for years. They fall in love with the boring repetition. The iron does not change. The routine does not change. They just let time and consistency do the heavy lifting. The iron does not care if you are bored. Input equals output. Your money works the exact same way. When you buy a great, boring business, your job is to get out of the way. Your job is to do nothing. But doing nothing is incredibly hard for emotional people. When the stock market gets quiet, you will feel the urge to change things. You will feel the urge to sell your solid investments and go buy that new tech stock everyone is talking about. You must fight that urge. The guys who are constantly trading, constantly jumping from one idea to the next, they are paying massive taxes, they are paying fees, and they are exhausting their mental energy. They are running in circles. But the true wealth builder, he plants the seed, and then he just sits back and watches the tree grow. He embraces the boredom. But let me warn you about the psychological warfare you are going to face. Being this boring is going to make you feel very lonely. When you are hanging out with your friends on the weekend, they are going to brag about their wild investments. They will show you screenshots of massive fake profits. They will tell you that you are moving too slow. They will laugh at your safe, boring portfolio. You have to be strong enough to smile, stay quiet, and let them talk. You must understand that you cannot build a 1% life using 99% habits. Let them have their 5 minutes of excitement. You are building a permanent machine. And then, the inevitable happens. The cycle turns. The economy slows down, and the easy money disappears. The people who were gambling on flashy tech companies and bragging at the bar suddenly lose everything. They get wiped out. But what happens to the boring businesses? The trash still gets collected. People still buy cheap food. People still need haircuts. Recessions do not destroy boring businesses. Recessions destroy the amateurs who were playing a game. When the stock market crashes and the news tells you the world is ending, the emotional people panic. They sell everything. But the smart investor looks at his boring companies and asks a simple question. Are people still going to buy toothpaste tomorrow? Are they still going to need medicine? Are they still going to get a haircut? If the answer is yes, you do not panic. You buy more. You completely ignore the noise. Finally, we have to ask the biggest question of all. Why do we do this? Why do we work so hard to study these boring companies? Why do we stay up late studying for exams, managing a business, or reading financial reports while everyone else is out at a party having fun? Because of the absolute freedom this boring money gives you. We do not do this to buy a shiny watch to show off to strangers on the internet. We do this for absolute protection. Imagine building a system of boring, cash-flowing businesses so strong that you never have to worry about the economy again. Imagine walking into a store and buying a beautiful, expensive gift for your girlfriend without ever stressing over the price tag because your investments paid for it while you were sleeping. Imagine knowing that the family you build will be completely shielded from the chaos of the world. And most importantly, imagine having the real, tangible power to change the physical world around you. Imagine walking down the street and seeing the vulnerable street animals in your city, the cats and dogs that have no voice and no protection. Instead of just feeling sad for a moment and walking away, imagine actually having the power to fix it. You use your boring money to fund a massive, warm, safe shelter for them. You buy them endless food, clean water, and medical care because your boring businesses are printing the cash to make it happen. You turn your good feelings into real, physical action. You become a protector. True wealth is not hiding in a complex math problem. It is hiding right in front of your eyes. It is in the boring, everyday things that normal people ignore. Stop trying to look smart. Stop chasing the hype. Embrace the boring work, find the cash flow, and build your empire in complete silence. If you are ready to kill your ego, stop gambling, and start investing like the absolute masters of the game, subscribe to Smart Investing Wisdom. We are giving you the exact steps to win your freedom. Do the boring work, protect your cash flow, and I will see you in the next video.